What's up, everyone? Welcome to the finale podcast. Today, I'm joined by Cittilad and Tyler to preview week one of the NFL season. Guys, it's been a while. How have you been over the off season?
Doing good, doing great.
Doing
Yeah,
good, man.
Tyler?
Trying to stay busy, waiting for football, waiting for this day finally get here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's Thursday night football. First game of the season, Ravens Chiefs. But Tyler, I see you with the Vikings head on, so I just want to go straight into that real quick. Like, what are your expectations this year for the Vikings? Went through some changes in the offseason. Obviously, the biggest one, losing Kirk Cousins. What are you expecting for us this season?
Super Bowl champs, baby. No,
No, no.
I don't, I don't,
Realistic.
I don't expect too much. Obviously, it's you know our kind of plan for the season, kind of trajectory, kind of changed when JJ went down with that injury. So,
Hmm.
um, main thing is really I'm excited for a lot of the newer pieces to kind of gel. Another season with O'Connell. I feel like our coaching staff really has a great thing going right now. Um, not to discredit Sam Darnold in any way. Obviously, I'm hoping he can step in and be this year's Baker Mayfield. I think we had talked about that briefly a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Um, but other than that, no real expectations. I'm hoping for a good season, hoping for some improvement from our young guys, and kind of more of a identity building season, figuring out who we are, the direction we're going, and hopefully JJ continue to learn this year through recovery and be ready for next season. Sounds very sad to say. Can't wait for next
Yeah.
So,
season before this season, but that's kind of the
Yeah, man.
expectations going into it.
100%. Yeah. I mean, that was very disappointing to see JJ go down like that, especially after that preseason game he had. I was just like, I was so high on what he was going to do. I was for sure expecting him to come in at some point this year, but he's going to learn a lot this year. I think it's like a consensus opinion that the Vikings are like going to be fourth place in the division this year. I'm more optimistic, but I can also see that happening with the Bears offseason, the Lions coming off NFC Championship appearance, and the Packers nearly getting there last year after their second half of the season. So, I mean, it should be a good season for the Vikings as it always is, but I'm hoping that, we cut down on the self-inflicted errors like the fumbles this year. Getting rid of Alexander Madison helps with that. No, I'm just playing. But it should be a good season overall, though. I'm expecting a lot from this offense. More so, though, the defense. I think we made a lot of good additions in the offseason. Grenard, Cashman, um, Shaq Griffin, I
Gilmore.
want to say his name is Gilmore. Um, so I think we're good on the defensive side, and that makes us much more, of a threat to some of these other teams. Whereas last year, I think we were good offensively. We have been good offensively under O'Connell, but defensively, I think it wasn't the best. Even though we were good defensively last year, definitely better than Donatel's defense. I think we actually have the
Oh yeah.
guys this year to make it happen. So I'm more optimistic, and we'll get into the Vikings a little bit more later. But just getting into the topics here. Uh, First one, biggest storyline heading into the 2024 season. There's a lot to go into, but what would you guys say is yours? Starting off with Cittilad.
Um, biggest headline. I gotta say, probably, probably all these off-season contracts. All these big name stars, especially Chase, Ayuk, names like those are holding out and having their I want to say their leverage. When it comes to them playing on the field. Having that ability to leverage their organization into a bigger contract. I feel like that's one of the big talks as well. And JJ's injury as well. That first preseason game had him high hopes, and him going down with just just a slashing our throat, per to say. But yeah, I'd say, in my opinion, I'd say the contracts bigger thing because it hindered different you know um organizations on their prep time when it comes to game time as well. So if they can look through, past the contract talks, especially with Jamar, and I feel like, just get the contracts over with or something like that, or he can
Mhm.
play or not play. It's just, I feel like a distraction as well. But they can hold out as well as they're good at what they are, and what they do as well. So yeah, just contracts involved and stuff like that, and Certain and everyone
Yeah.
involved.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like this year more than ever we're seeing a lot more of that with the star players and their contract extensions. Like we've seen players hold out in the past, obviously, but
Hmm.
I feel like we've had so many this offseason, you know, and especially these big name wide receivers. You know, we saw with CeeDee
Hmm.
Lamb, Brandon Ayuk, and now Jamar Chase. Um, it's really I feel like bringing a light to the business aspect of the league and just how that's evolving um into what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, to go further on that, they everyone knew that Justin Jefferson was going to get a major contract. So those other three, CD, Ayuk, and Chase were kind of waiting for his contract to see what the market was like. So yeah, just a bigger trend this year, this off season as well. But yeah, like I said, they're number one in their team and number one at their position, so they can have that leverage. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's a bigger trend, and I feel like more and more players start to do that. The organization will just gonna have to cater to it. Otherwise they're not going to play, and hinders that hinders that team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that kind of played out with Judon and the Patriots, right? Like,
Yeah.
he was holding out. I mean, Patriots weren't budging, and then eventually they traded him to Atlanta.
Yep.
Um, and then what else is going on? I think like with Hassan Reddick, right? Like he got traded to the Jets from the Eagles, and I don't think he's even gotten to one practice. Like he's not even appeared yet.
No,
So like, yeah, man,
he was
it's
there for a year, I believe, right?
where Philly?
Jets.
No, I think he got traded to Philly in the offseason.
Oh, in the offseason. Well,
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I've never seen that before, but yeah, definitely some things going on. I think with the Ayuk thing it was like maybe the organization doesn't see him in the same bracket as those elite of the elite guys, which I think is fair to say. Obviously, Ayuk is like probably right below that, but I think that's where the tug and pull was with that on the negotiations. But uh, glad to see him get paid, and then yeah, Trent Williams just got paid, so definitely the Niners are going to have to look at some things going forward, and then you got the Cowboys as well. They have to pay Micah Parsons, so yeah, a lot of that plays into things, and I think it's definitely a priority for these players to take it into their own hands now that it's becoming more normalized. But I'm glad like a team like the Vikings definitely prioritized that. They probably looked at it like a year ago and were like, because
yeah,
they were expecting to get it done a year ago, but then they decided purposely to push it to this year because they knew, some other things were more prioritized, and then they made it an emphasis, got it done early, I would say, even though he missed like mini camp or something. But I think that's probably what you want to do. You don't want to risk a player leaving. Like, I think that's kind of what the aren't the Bengals kind of facing that with T Higgins? Like, is he still looking for an extension? Like, what's going on there?
I think
Not
they
too
tagged him.
okay. They tagged him, yeah, and I don't think he
I
obviously he
believe they
didn't want
tagged him.
that. Yeah, so that's kind of like a short term sort of solution. But yeah, definitely a priority to see these teams lock in their guys. But so yeah, Tyler, that's your same sort of thing, same storyline.
Oh no, I was just adding to that.
Okay.
My biggest one, I think, was just all the rookie quarterbacks coming into this year. You know,
Hmm.
so it's been a very hyped up quarterback draft class. And now we're gonna see Caleb Williams. You know, you got Jaden Daniels, uh, Drake May. Obviously, is the plan is probably to have him take over pretty soon, when as soon as he's ready. Bo Nix, even Michael Penix, whatever that situation's gonna be. There's just a lot of different pieces in like these guys that these teams brought in to basically take a chance on to be their franchise guy. So
Hmm.
I don't obviously it'll be very unlikely that all of them pan out, but it'll be interesting to see who does and who doesn't, and you know which ones are able to actually make some noise for their team this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I know there was a lot of like the Falcons definitely got a lot of heat for picking Penix,
Mm-hmm.
especially because they just got Kirk Cousins. But like when you look at that
Yeah.
quarterback class and then you look at the quarterback class for 2025, it kind of makes sense if you're the Falcons to look long term because Kirk Cousins, you don't know how much he has left, especially at the production that he had last year, where he was
Yep.
among the best quarterbacks in the league. Penix is obviously an older prospect, I would say, but like I think he can still give you that, long-term solution at quarterback where if you're the Falcons, you just experienced that Desmond Ridder experiment. You don't want to go back to that again. So I think Penix kind of gives you something that you can rely on, especially with what he showed throughout the season and like college football playoff and things like that. But yeah, like you said, there's a lot of quarterbacks that, are getting relied upon this year. I think Drake May, he's not starting right away, but he's number 3 overall pick. He's going to get that spot soon. Bo Nix is going to be starting. I mean, I'm looking forward to that. I think it could be a good match with Sean Payton. I'm looking forward to that for sure. Caleb Williams, he's already the team captain, which I don't know if you see that typically with rookie quarterbacks, but I think it's going to be a lot of. It's kind of like 2018, if you remember, expectation wise. Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield,
Exactly.
Josh Rosen, yeah, guys like coming in with high expectations. So we'll see how it goes, but yeah, I'm also looking forward to that as well. Yeah. As for mine, huh? Honestly, I didn't come prepared with one, but if I had to think of one off the top of my head, um, I would say like, is there going to be a team in the AFC that takes the Chiefs' crown? You know,
Mhm.
like we kind of thought that was going to happen last year, especially the way they performed in the regular season. Um, Baltimore had it, Miami had it until their late season collapse. Could have given it to Buffalo after their late season surge. But Kansas City still finds a way despite every, piece of adversity they faced, especially last season. And now strengthening in the offseason, I would say, adding Worthy in the draft, adding Hollywood Brown, bringing back, they just brought back Juju. Um, I think they're a team that's a little bit more reloaded now. They lost L'Jarius Sneed, but I still think this is a team that is going to be atop the AFC. But really, it doesn't really matter what happens in the regular season. Like, it comes down to what will happen in the playoffs. And I think that's just the toughest part. Like, will that translate for some of these teams who are probably going to have success? So I'm looking at Baltimore. I'm looking at Houston more so than Buffalo now. I'm looking at Miami still. Like, which of those teams, Cincinnati, are going to be able to contend with Kansas City and take them down? That's my storyline heading into the season. But yeah.
Well, and adding to
Patriots.
that, yeah,
He said the
adding to
Patriots.
that,
It ain't
Chiefs
2017.
three-peat.
No. It's
Potential
Chiefs
three-peat.
three-peat. That is a big storyline as well. I don't think that's been done. Has it been done?
I don't
I was
know.
going
I
to
don't
say
know
the
the history
Patriots,
behind
but
that.
no, they didn't do that.
It would have had to have been the Patriots or Joe Montana, but I don't think so.
That's crazy if
Nope.
that happens. Three-peat. I don't even think that happens in the NBA. So yeah, that's wild. But I
I
could see
mean,
that happening though.
it hasn't happened in quite some time in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very difficult to do. We'll see if it happens, but yeah, man. Uh let's get into the league news, starting off with the Bears, a team that's been really hyped up in the offseason, added Caleb Williams in the draft, Roma Dunze as well, added Gerald Everett, added Keenan Allen, added DeAndre Swift, added a lot of guys. This is a team that's kind of reloaded a little bit. Definitely paid off making that trade with Carolina to get those picks, to get DJ Moore. And, so I think this is a team that's, got that hype a little bit to them. Despite not making the playoffs since the Matt Nagy era. So yeah. So what are your expectations for them? I mean, they've got a lot of expectations I set for the public.
I mean, with all the guys that you're mentioning, Montez Sweat got picked up, midseason
Mm-hmm.
last year. Also, their new offseason pickups as well, and then Caleb Williams starting out and number 1 overall. But I feel like they can. I feel like the NFC North can be up for grabs with the Lions, Bears, and the Packers. Fortunately not for the Vikings, but Markos freeze.
I'm here, right?
Oh,
I hear you. You're just you're
oh yeah, your screen frozen. But anyways, yeah, it's really high hopes. I feel like they're more expected to do well more than the rest of the teams in the North. Especially more than the Lions coming off that NFC Championship game, and as well as the Packers. Their last 8 game stretch beating Dallas in round one. But yeah, I can see them winning the North or coming in second place. But I feel like Caleb Williams is going to ball out. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I think we learned our lesson last year. We had a similar segment about C.J. Stroud and the Texans.
Yeah.
And Cittilad, I think for like 3 minutes, you and I just roasted the shit out of the Texans for a little bit. I think we learned our lesson this year on not doubting these young teams with these high expectations. So I think they did everything right that they could have this offseason. They've made all the right moves. Pretty much set their number one pick, their future guy, up for as much success as they can. Don't know why they never did that with Justin Fields, but here we are. It's fine. Maybe they didn't see the same thing that they see with Caleb, but yeah, I definitely could see them. I don't know about making a push for the top of the division, just because the Lions are just expected to be so good. And the Packers obviously should be improved from last year, which was already good, but I could definitely see them being a wild card team sneaking in there if things go as they should. Yeah, I think they're definitely capable of that.
Oh, they picked up Byard and Edmonds.
Yeah, and Jonathan Owens too.
Yep.
Jonathan Owens from Green Bay. You're talking about Edmonds, like the linebacker they've had, or who?
Yeah, Tremaine.
Oh, they've been had him though. It's been like a couple of years, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But
I must have been thinking of somebody else.
Yeah,
Byard they picked up.
Byard, yeah, from Philly. That's a good pickup. Yeah, definitely a lot of expectations, like I was saying, but I could see for sure a wild card spot. But I could also see them go further than that, even winning the division, because the Lions have to do what nobody was expecting last year, so they have a little bit more pressure on them. People know what to expect with that offense. Ben Johnson, they're very aggressive offense, and everything like that. Green Bay, a little bit of pressure as well. Jordan Love just got paid, and they're a team that has to do it for the duration of the season. They can't just be a second half team again if they want to go to that next step. So I think definitely a spot for Chicago potentially to win that division. But they're also going to have to show it themselves and, show that their offense and all the pieces and all that can coexist, and their defense can continue to be what they were towards the end of last season when they were able to rattle off a few wins. So I have expectations of like second or third place realistically for them, just because of the offseason moves. They're so stacked right now. But yeah, they'll have to, put it out on the field and actually see what, like Tyler was mentioning, see that all the pieces they added to complement the quarterback actually work out. But no doubt about it, I think Caleb Williams is like a generational prospect, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do this year, because I don't think we've seen a quarterback like this in quite some time. And he's shown it a little bit in the preseason as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Moving on to the second topic, we have sleeper team entering the 2024 season. Now, I know mine already, but I'm going to start off with Cittilad. Who you got?
Oh, honestly, I'm going to say the Commanders.
Okay.
I just want to say Commanders. Dan Quinn, defensive-minded guy, really solid defense. Jaden Daniels, excited to see him, and starting to run that offense. Starting out, as QB1. And then also, I feel like with Dan Quinn, their energy, I feel like that leadership with Dan Quinn, he's been in multiple Super Bowls, multiple playoff games, and I feel like he can really, turn it up things in Washington. And then, I'm just excited for Jaden Daniels to play that dual threat there. Haven't had that dual threat QB, since RG3 days, so something to look forward to, something new for the fans to see as well. So that's my sleeper team for the year.
Taylor Heineke.
Who?
No, but
what was that? Like you said my name.
No, yeah, I said Tyler.
Yeah, Marcos. I'm guessing. I mean, I put three sleeper teams down. I'm guessing one of them I put down is probably the same one you have.
Ooh,
Yes, it
Minnesota
is.
Vikings.
Yes, it is.
I do firmly believe that we have enough talent on both sides of the ball that if Sam Darnold comes out and plays even just good, not even like great, he's just good, um, then we really could be a team that can make some noise and be competitive and potentially sneak into a playoff spot. Who knows?
Hmm.
You know, we weren't awful last year with Jaron Hall, Nick Mullins. You know, Sam Darnold's
Jobs.
definitely a step up from those guys. We have a fully healthy Justin Jefferson now, so Aaron Jones should be a big improvement to our run game.
Yeah.
Um, but I didn't want to just put them because I feel like that was kind of a probably a biased pick a little bit.
Homer pick. Yeah,
So
Homer.
I do have a couple other teams here I wanted to mention.
Okay.
I think the Arizona Cardinals will make some noise this year.
Okay.
They do have some defensive concerns. However, Kyler, 8 games last year, 11 games the year before. We get a full year of him plus the addition of Marvin Harrison Jr. Supposed to be generational. I mean, highlights don't tell the whole story, so I don't want to get, you know, too hyped up just off of that, but he
Uh,
seems pretty incredible and everything I've
yeah,
heard, he really can be that difference maker for them. So
for sure.
um the biggest team, I feel like every year I have a team where I'm just super high on. A couple years ago it was the Broncos. Last year I think it
Yeah.
was the Chargers. This year,
Mm.
the Indianapolis Colts.
Mm.
I think
yep,
with the return of Anthony Richardson,
Okay.
they were 9-8 last year.
Yeah.
They made some great additions. They have Raekwon Davis now. They had a great draft, I think, drafting Mitchell and Latu and getting a lot of depth. So,
Mm.
not to mention, they still have Jonathan Taylor, who I feel like people don't even talk about when they talk about the Colts anymore, which is ridiculous. 2 years ago, 18 touchdowns and 1,500 yards. Like
Mm.
he might not ever see those numbers again, but
yeah,
he's right up there with the top tier running backs in the league. So I think this team can definitely make some serious noise this year.
Okay. Those are some good teams. My team that I will say outside of the Vikings, who I did have as my primary option, my secondary option, I'm gonna say the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've had a really good defense over the past couple of years, but I think quarterback play has really hindered them with Kenny Pickett not being, the guy that they thought they were getting. But off season they added two great quarterbacks, so they have an insurance option if one doesn't go so well. And I think Russell Wilson, he's going into a better situation. I think Arthur Smith didn't work out as a head coach in Atlanta, but I think he's a much better offensive coordinator, as we saw in Tennessee. I think he's going to bring that to the offense in Pittsburgh. And, you surround him with the dynamic duo in the backfield of Jalen Warren and Najee Harris. The receivers aren't the greatest, but you still have Pickens over there. And they drafted Roman Wilson. Maybe he's a guy that emerges this year out of Michigan. This is a team I think Pat Frymuth as well that can like make some noise as long as the offense complements a top five defense that they have over there. So I'm gonna say Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Big country,
Okay.
let's ride.
Yeah.
yeah,
Steelers. I can talk about like your guys' selections a little bit. You mentioned Cittilad mentioned the Commanders. I think that's a good pick. I mean, I initially was kind of like had some little concerns, I guess, because teams usually don't hire defensive head coaches anymore, and that's kind of why Dan Quinn, as elite as that Dallas Cowboys defense has been with him, he wasn't hired last year, and I think he deserves this opportunity for sure. I think he's going to really help out that defense, but I want to see how the offense looks. And, I think that kind of was my initial concern. But with them bringing in Cliff Kingsbury, I'm actually a fan of what they can do. I think he had good moments in Arizona, and I think he's going to be really good for Jaden Daniels in that offense. To
yeah,
make some things happen. So I have expectations, higher expectations for them this season. I think Terry McLaurin's going to get back on track too. So I feel like it's going to be a good year for them. Obviously, one of the toughest divisions in the league, but that's a division that has a new winner every year, so you never know. Um, and then with the Minnesota Vikings, I mean, obviously homer pick, but I still have optimism. I mean, like we mentioned, the defense was really good last year, above average, I would say, and the offense really let them down. I mean, if it wasn't for, some of those losses late in the year, I think this is a team that would have been getting that 7th spot over Green Bay. But I think quarterback play is going to be important, having stability at that position. I do have concerns if Sam Darnold does go down because I don't want to see more Nick Mullins ball or Ripien or whoever is the third string now that Jaren Hall's not there. I don't want to see that. I think that's really going to diminish our chances of doing anything. If that's the case, I mean, we might as well tank for Carson Beck or something. No, not Carson Beck, but like a top pick. Like
Jalen.
obviously we got JJ, but just a top pick because I mean, like I don't want to put certain guys like I wouldn't even want to rush TJ Hawkinson back if we're like 0-5
Right.
at week 5 or something. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do have optimism with Sam Darnold. I think he really developed, even though you can't really see it. But I think he learned what winning was. Being in San Francisco a little bit, he hasn't been around winning much, so I think that was a good situation for him. And I think he's ready for this opportunity. It's a 1-year deal, a prove it deal, sort of what we were mentioning with Baker Mayfield, and then who's the next Baker Mayfield. I think Sam Darnold is the most predictable candidate at this point. So I'm gonna say, that's definitely a sleeper team. And then you mentioned Arizona. I mean, I'm here in Arizona. I see the vibe around the Cardinals. I think Marvin Harrison Jr., he is a generational sort of receiving talent. I mean, not only did he go to Ohio State, which, they they generate receivers every year,
That's what they
but
do. Yeah.
we saw what he did at Ohio State. So I think the proof is in the pudding. He's the best receiver in this draft by a significant margin, I would say. And I think he's easily NFL ready from day one. He's going to be like one of the best receivers, I think, in the league this year.
Yeah.
As you can see already in fantasy drafts, people already see it coming. And then they have other receivers like Greg Dortch, who else? Michael Wilson, Trey McBride at the tight end position. Said lads like who? But nah, these guys are actually like
Trey McBride's a beast though, for
yeah,
sure.
guys that can actually contribute. And then like you mentioned, defensively, not the best, but I trust Gannon. Gannon is a defensive guy. I think he can get that defense going a little bit. Very tough division with how the Rams played last year, and then the Seahawks are always around there in the playoff spots a little bit. So it's a tough division, but I can see some strides from them being a sleeper team that, especially like with the way they finished last season, they had that trademark win over the Philadelphia Eagles. And Kyler Murray being healthy this year, I think it's gonna really help them out a lot. Don't expect them getting higher than third place in that division, but good mention for Tyler there. And
No, so
Indianapolis,
I didn't want any like I wanted like real sleepers, like teams that are
yeah,
supposed to be sub like 6 or 7 wins that can make some noise.
I think
I
Indianapolis
don't,
is one
I
of
don't
those
think the Colts
teams.
are there, but
I think they are there
Tennessee,
because
Carolina.
You gotta look at that division. I mean, like they could win that division, I think. When you look at the AFC South, like who is in that division? I mean, the Jaguars kind of fell back to reality last year. Tennessee, they're going through some transitions. Um,
Texans got those expectations now.
Houston got the expectations now. They're going to have to show that they're, ready for all that this year. So maybe they won't win that division now that I'm thinking about Houston, but I mean that's still look at last
They could
year.
be
I
right
mean,
there. They were 9-8 with how many
they were
games
one
of
play away.
Richardson?
Yeah, one play away last year with Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
If that dude didn't drop that pass on 4th down, they probably would have scored on that drive and would have beat Houston. So I think this
Yep.
is a team that's gonna, be ready this year, second year under Steichen, I want to say his name is.
Yep.
Anthony Richardson returning, Jonathan Taylor, like you mentioned. I think Michael Pittman's going to be better. Mitchell is a receiver they got out of Texas, who I have expectations for. Um, they're going to be good this year, I think, defensively as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do this year. I think that's a good pick for a wild card. Definitely, I can see them getting second in that division if Houston, meet expectations. So yeah, some good selections there.
I do really think they killed it with this draft too. I think Mitchell
Yeah.
was an absolute steal. I think he's going to be a great receiver in this league. And
Mhm.
Latu, is that how you say it? Um, I know
Yeah.
his draft stock fell a lot because of injuries. You know, he had that season-ending injury. I don't remember exactly what it was that he's been recovering from for quite some time now. But I think he was actually medically retired at one point.
Oh wow.
So teams typically try to stay away from that kind of stuff. But when a player like that, who is supposed to be a generational talent, can overcome injury concerns like that, you might have just got the best player in the draft. So I'm really excited to see what he can do. Um, yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm just really high on them this year. So, and it's
Yeah, don't
not
How about
forget
because
you?
I
Mark.
have Richardson on one of my teams in fantasy, and I just need him to be
Uh,
great. But
he will
no,
be, I think.
I genuinely think he'll take that next step. He looked great in the few games that he played last year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
What were you gonna say, Cittilad?
I said don't forget they got Marvin Harrison Senior as their wide receiver coach there too. So developing
mm,
I
him.
thought it was Reggie Wayne.
Was it Reggie Wayne?
Yeah.
I swear it was
I
Harrison.
I thought it was Reggie Wayne, maybe.
You
But
fact check that.
if you fact check that real quick. I thought it was Reggie Wayne. Wide receiver coach, I think, is Reggie Wayne.
Oh, it is Reggie Wayne. Oh well.
Yeah, but
Well, he's still good though.
they're still good. How about you, Cittilad? Like, what are you expecting to see out of Darius Leonard this year? I'm kidding. That was a test. I was about to get him. Nah, that was a test. He goes by Shaq Leonard now, I think. Anyway, but all right. Let's move on to the last segment. Upset pick of the week. Looking forward to this one. But I'll
Ooh.
let you guys. Actually, yeah, I'll go first. Let me get mine out the way. So I'm gonna take 6.5 point underdogs, Arizona Cardinals over the Buffalo Bills. That's my pick. I
wow.
think the Buffalo Bills
Ooh.
regressed a little bit this season.
Mhm.
I think the Cardinals had a sneakily good offseason, and at full health, I think they're going to be a team that can surpass some expectations this year. I think this is a favorable pick for me. Yeah.
Coach in
Um.
Arizona for a few weeks and
No, I
diehard
mean,
fan now.
you
I'm
already
just
picked
kidding.
Arizona for a
Yeah.
sleeper team.
I'm just kidding. I like the pick. The Bills
Yeah.
definitely took a step back,
Yeah.
especially
Hey,
I feel like
I'm gonna take the Patriots in Cincinnati by
mm,
three. By
Mm,
three. Just because Jacoby Brissett, I feel like he's ready.
yeah. I hope
Um,
so.
those receivers look strong. I feel like Gerard Mayo, new coach, that atmosphere is going to change. You know,
Who are some of the
I feel
receivers
like
we should have eye on though?
Jalen Polk, rookie,
mhm.
Besides
he's
him
nice,
though.
huh?
Besides him.
Jalen Polk, he's the number one guy there.
Yeah, I said
So
besides Polk.
you can look at a Hunter Henry coming back
They
strong.
still got Hunter
Okay.
He
Henry,
re he
Okay, cool.
resigned, yeah.
Cool.
So
All right. All right. Not bad.
I'm taking the Patriots. So
Look for a lot of guys to step up
Yeah.
and jump on the
oh yeah,
scene
for
this
sure.
year.
Look for Jalen
Someone's
Rieger
gonna have to.
sighting.
I mean,
Yeah.
Shoot. Jalen Polk, man,
No, I do like Jalen
he's
Polk.
different. That dude's
Yeah.
nice.
Good pick
He's
right there.
nice.
Who's their
Yeah.
offensive coordinator?
Couldn't tell you that. Low key,
He
it might
left.
be a new person.
It definitely has to be. I mean,
Oh,
new coaching staff, right? I don't know who it is though.
oh, Alex Van Pelt.
Oh, yeah, I don't know who that is
What's
honestly,
he?
but should
I
be
don't
a
know. That's what I mean. Oh, he was the Steelers. Oh, he stepped up for Cleveland during COVID when Stefanski
gotcha.
was out.
Gotcha. We'll see
So,
how that works out. I like the pick though.
offen-
It's
yeah.
is it a road game you said for New England?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Cincy.
Gotcha.
So I feel like that being said, I feel like the distraction with Chase, might hinder some, game time and play decisions too as well. So
Hmm.
might be a little
that's a good
distraction
point.
for the team.
Because yeah, he's been away from everything right now, right?
Yeah, he's coming
He's
back
in
to
the
practice last
building.
couple days. He's been practicing
Okay.
a couple days, but he's just a little teased.
Yeah.
But
Gotcha.
otherwise,
Yeah, I mean
if that,
that's still enough to be a enough of a
yeah,
distraction to
oh yeah, for sure.
um
Yeah, and just don't forget the Patriots defense are still really good too. So Christian Gonzalez coming back.
oh for sure. Yeah. Patriots
So
defense always good.
you know,
They always seem to figure it out.
Yeah.
Although in the past you can say that's because of one man who's not there anymore. So we'll see.
Mm.
I mean, Gerard Mayo's a defensive guy, so he knows that defense.
Mm.
My upset this week, I got the Rams over the Lions on Sunday Night Football. I
Ooh,
think
Detroit.
Stafford returning to Detroit. I think he's gonna come out and just have a great game. Um,
To get back. Yep.
I do think the Lions are gonna win the division this year. I think they're gonna be good, just as good, if not better than they were last year. But they might have a slow start, and I feel like got to give it to Stafford for the experience. And I mean, not that Jared Goff doesn't have the experience, I guess, but as a roster as a whole, I just feel like the Rams have that advantage. So we'll see.
No Aaron Donald.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
true.
Retiree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like the pick though.
hey,
Then they drafted a couple of
Darius
defensive
Williams.
linemen
Darius
too, right?
Williams just went on IR too, so they're starting corner. Darius Williams
Mm.
just went on IR today. So their defense has been kind of lackluster too. So
Tyler's like, let me change that pick real quick.
Oh, I'm keeping it. No, I mean,
No.
besides they got an answer for Amon St. Brown and obviously Laporta.
ooh,
I'm not sold on the other receivers there over in Detroit. So we'll see how Jameson
I'm on
Williams
roster
does.
number
Jameson
one.
Williams. I mean, yeah,
Jameson.
we saw what Puka Nakua did against the Lions in the playoffs, so that,
Hmm.
it's a
Yep.
good matchup. And then Cooper Cup, if they can get Cooper Cup and Nakua ticking like right away, I think that's going to be
Yeah.
a good team this year. Who's their
Honestly, it's gonna be offense versus offense. It's gonna be like 40-38 or something here. But
yeah. Actually, I was
I
going to say who's their
I
tight
guess
end, but
for
they
the
have
Rams.
Higbee, yeah. My fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler Higbee.
Yeah. For some reason I was like, didn't they lose Gerald Everett? But no, he left a few years ago. But then they have the running backs, Williams and Corum from Michigan. Hmm.
Yep.
I like the pick. I
Yeah, I'm,
like the
I'm
pick.
excited about Blake Corum. I mean, obviously you have
Yeah.
everybody freaking out about Kyron Williams being a punt returner or whatever, but I mean, I don't think that's anything too serious. I think it's always kind of been the idea that it's going to be a running back by committee over there. The idea of drafting Corum.
Yeah.
Um, I do think Kyron Williams is still their guy, obviously, like their main workhorse, but I just feel like that's so rare in this league now to just have kind of that workhorse running back that carries the majority of the carries. I feel like every team kind of has two guys that they shuffle between for the most part, unless you have like obviously like a Christian McCaffrey or a Derrick Henry type of situation.
Yeah, like a
Aaron Williams
workhorse.
is
Yeah.
a kick returner, isn't he?
What do you say?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. They put Kyron Williams as a kick returner or punt returner.
Yeah, Kyron Williams was
Yeah.
the punt returner, and then Blake Corum was announced
Okay.
as a kick returner apparently.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
Something like
under the
that.
new
I don't know
format.
if that was
Yeah.
legit. I saw that today, but yeah, Kyron Williams definitely was announced as a punt returner last week. But I mean, they had Cooper Cup as their
And
punt returner a few years ago, so I don't think it's really
Hmm.
dude, all their running
crazy.
backs are 5'9". Corum is 5'8". All of them less than 6 foot. It's crazy.
That's good. I mean, you got Corum is kind of like a power back.
Whoa, they
Yeah.
don't even have Higbee.
Oh, Higbee left, huh?
They got Dennis Allen, Hunter Long, and Colby Parkinson. Who?
Parkinson, all right,
Where
knows
did
from
Higbee go?
Seattle. I thought Higbee was there. I'm not gonna lie.
He's been gone.
He definitely left over
Oh
the
yeah,
Hey.
he's on the pup list. He's still there. He's
Okay.
still
Oh,
listed
okay.
there.
Okay.
I was
Oh,
like, I
yeah.
didn't see
Okay.
anything about him this offseason.
Yeah.
Thought he was there. All right.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
All right. Anything else we want to add before we get out of here?
Did they pick up Tre'Davious
Everything
White
I had.
in the offseason, the Rams? Or was that last year?
That sounds
I think it might have
familiar.
been this. 'Cause that's going to be their number one DB now since Darius Williams went on IR. Both all their DBs are 5'9", which is crazy. They're going to get mossed on by.
I don't know. The defense was solid last year, so
Yeah, this defense looks mid. I'm not going to lie to you, Tyler. You might have to change
they
this.
don't have big names, but like they drafted
No,
well.
like who are these linebackers? Who are these D line?
They
Like
had like
Deshaun Johnson,
they
Bobby
drafted
Brown the third, Brandon
I
drafted
think
Phillips.
well.
it's going to be like 40 to 38. It's going to be a high scoring game. But I feel like
You never know.
Rams have that offensive power. Yeah, I just think Stafford comes in and takes that upset.
It's
I think it's
respectable.
less bold of a pick than the Patriots, if I'm being honest.
Chill.
Yeah, let's keep it a buck. It is. But
No, it's not.
I mean, it's the Patriots, man. It's
No, it is not. Patriots got a new coach coming in, like new offensive coordinator coming in, new
okay.
new culture over there. Like what?
That's not that's like
Just gonna be like
I'm just
Alabama
playing,
after after the dub. They were taking flicks after the game. Like Saban would have had him on the hill, running up on the hill.
we'll see, man. We'll see. But yeah, that was
I'm excited.
everything.
It's gonna be a good weekend of football. There's a lot of good
Oh
matchups
yeah,
coming up. So
and tomorrow night as well. Green Bay and
yeah,
Philly
yeah,
and Brazil.
we have four full nights of football here.
Oh yeah, yep.
5 if you watch college
True.
football.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
Yeah,
good
It's gonna be a
weekend.
good 5 day. It's gonna be a good stretch here.
But
My wife is not
yeah,
gonna hear from me.
that's everything. That we got episode 92 in the books. Cittilad and Tyler. Have you guys again
sir.
on soon. I appreciate you guys for coming as always, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Catch you later.